Welcome to the deep dive. We know wading through information can be, well, a lot. So we do the digging for you, distilling the key takeaways.
Exactly. And today we're looking at a brand new game that's definitely making waves.
We're talking about Mecha BREAK.
That's the one. Amazing Season Games' new free-to-play mech shooter. It just launched this month, July 2025. You can grab it on PC, Steam specifically, and Xbox Series X and S.
Okay, so what's our mission here? What are we breaking down for you today?
We want to unpack what makes it appealing, the good stuff, but also look at the reported drawbacks.
Right, the criticisms, and figure out what the early buzz, the reviews, the community chatter tells us about what players expect these days.
Especially with free-to-play games.
All right, let's dive in then. First impressions, what hits you right away?
Well, sources say it's super easy to get into, like really accessible.
Okay, low barrier to entry, that's good.
Yeah, and it looks great. Visually stunning, apparently. The mech movement feels good, satisfying, and there's a decent variety of mechs right from the start.
And the combat itself.
Fast, very flashy. You've got different roles for your mechs, sniper, tank, support, that kind of thing.
Standard archetypes.
Pretty much. It's all about dodging, boosting around, using your ability smartly. Controls are smooth, accessible, gives it a real arcade feel.
Okay, okay. Lock-on targeting too.
Yep, lock-on targeting.
Yeah.
And modes. You've got your classic 6v6 team fights.
Standard.
Smaller 3v3 skirmishes too. And this interesting PvPvE extraction mode called Mech.
Mech, got it. Now, I heard a comparison floating around.
Yes. You probably heard the Titanfall meets Overwatch with mechs line.
That's the one. That sounds like high praise.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it seems to capture that blend. People are noticing the fast mech action like Titanfall,
Yeah.
but with those distinct character or mech abilities like Overwatch. It's a strong hook.
Definitely pulls you in. But, like always, there's another side to the coin. What are the main criticisms?
Two big areas seem to keep coming up. Depth, or maybe the lack of it long term, and monetization.
Okay, let's talk depth first.
Yeah.
Customization.
It's mostly cosmetic, skins, things like that. You're not really swapping out engine parts or fiddling with weapon mods in a deep way.
So not for the hardcore mech tinkerers, maybe.
Probably not. And that ties into the other point. Some players feel it gets repetitive after, say, a few hours.
The new game shine wears off quickly.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
If there isn't enough deep progression or variety to keep you engaged once you've mastered the basics, that initial fun loop might not be enough for the long haul.
Which leads us neatly into the money side of things. Monetization.
Right. It is free to play, but our sources highlight that a lot is monetized. Almost everything, some say.
Like what? Give us some examples.
Okay, so cosmetic skins can apparently cost up to $48 US.
Wow, $48 for a skin.
Yeah. And another one that caught people's attention, changing your pilot's gender, costs $5.
$5 just for that. Okay, that feels a bit much.
It's definitely raised eyebrows.
Yeah.
While these are cosmetic, and the core PvP seems fair, paying doesn't give you a direct combat advantage there, that Mech mode, the PvPvE one. The gear progression in that can potentially favor players who spend money. And that's where the pay-to-win label starts getting thrown around by some of the community.
Gotcha. So it's perceived fairness in PvP, but maybe less so in that specific PvPvE mode. How's the community taking all this overall?
It's pretty mixed. On Steam, the reviews are sitting around, 63% positive? So leaning positive, but not overwhelmingly.
Okay. And the general vibe from feedback?
People seem to agree the core gameplay, the moment-to-moment action, is genuinely fun. But
There's always a but.
yeah. But the aggressive pricing and the sense that there isn't enough long-term substance are definitely holding it back for many. You hear that phrase a lot. Fun until you hit the paywall.
Which is a common story for free-to-play titles, right?
It is. And Mecha BREAK had this huge initial surge. Like, it was viral at launch. Hit over 130,000 concurrent players on Steam. Huge buzz on Twitch, Reddit.
Massive numbers.
Absolutely massive. But the question now is sustainability. Can it keep that interest without some major updates, or crucially, rethinking parts of that monetization strategy?
Right. Will the fun core be enough to overcome the other concerns?
Exactly. It's like a really tasty appetizer, but maybe not a full, satisfying meal for everyone.
So the bottom line for someone listening, should they jump in? Should you play Mecha BREAK?
Well, you might really enjoy it if you're looking for something fast, fun to look at, easy to pick up, and you mainly want that casual PvP mech action without worrying about pay to win and those core modes.
Okay, if you want a quick mech fix.
Yeah. But You'll probably want to skip it if you're someone who really values deep mech building and customization.
Or if you're sensitive to aggressive monetization.
Definitely. Or if you need that long-term progression, that deep variety to keep you invested for months on end, it might feel a bit shallow after a while for you.
So summing it up, Mecha BREAK looks like a pretty solid, really explosive action game at first glance. Got the flash, got the speed, but it seems held back ultimately by maybe a lack of deep systems and a monetization model that feels, well, pretty heavy-handed to a lot of players.
Yeah, and that leaves us with something interesting to think about, doesn't it?
What's that?
Just what does a game like Mecha BREAK tell us about where things are heading? You know, that constant balancing act between making a free game engaging and making it profitable.
Right. How do developers find that sweet spot?
And what does this launch, this reaction suggest about what we as gamers expect now? What's the baseline for value, for fairness? Especially when we invest our time, maybe our money, into these experiences.
Definitely something to chew on.